When I was using ChatGPT and I was like, oh, this is a very interesting topic. Oh, I haven't thought about this. But is that real? Is that valid? I don't know. You can't just accept everything from the tool.
Hi, my name is Becky Goodman. I'm a cowboy coach here at the University of Wyoming, as well as a student. My major is criminal justice with a concentration in pre-law. Today, I'm here with...
Hi, everyone. My name is Ling Zhang. I'm an assistant professor of special education at the College of Education at University of Wyoming.
Why is continued research important regarding individualized education for students with disabilities? In other words, why not keep doing things as we're doing them right now?
That's a very interesting question. So I think we have been asking this question for many, many years for any area, no matter whether it's general or special education. I think we're at this very critical time with the technology, great. But we do have lots of challenges with how to use those technology. AI has been out for a long time, but generative AI, maybe people started pay attention to generative AI since after ChatGPT. So this is a relatively new thing, emerging technology across fields, right? So I think we still have lots of concerns around how to effectively use generative AI, Gen AI. So why doing all those work? Because sometimes, especially for special education research, special education teaching services, because we have a smaller student population, sometimes we might be overlooked with the research. So everybody's talking about how we can leverage technology, generative AI to transform, quote unquote, transform education, right? And as special education researchers, we need to be at the table because we know how to work students with disabilities. And since everybody is exploring the potential or the challenges with the generative AI, this is a critical time and everybody needs to get involved. If you don't get involved, your expertise won't be highlighted in those work.
I really love that you highlight that because I've had a lot of my professors be very weary about it, which, I think that's up to debate, but also at the same time, that is, I feel like also hinting at the idea that the more reluctance, the more we're not able to embrace a side that has a value and keeps the value of being an honesty as a student, but also enhancing the learning side of it, and especially being able to focus on, university students who are in the higher levels of academia who really do need that support.
I think this is a great point. Yeah, we need to be very careful about how we use that. But if you don't do the research, or if you're just reluctant to accept things, or it's here to stay, the generative AI is here to stay. So everybody's saying that because it's truth, right? So I think lots of people using generative AI on a daily basis. So I think that's another important factor for us. If we want people to effectively or ethically use those tools, and we probably need to do more research instead of just staying away from it. So I think that's another important reason for us to get more involved.
I think along the topic of that, what's driving this push to inject AI into every aspect of our lives, including education, a little bit of what we were just kind of hinting on.
Yeah, so I think in general, it's a very exciting time. Because I think probably 5 years ago, who would imagine we have this generative AI, this technology that can generate those crazy stuff for us, right? So I think that's very exciting for sure. And no matter whether it's in academia, teaching, research, and our daily life, actually. But also it's very, a little bit scary time. So that's why some people are very critical or just reluctant. So I think both are very valid. So yes, we need to be very careful in terms of how to use those technology. But I think the most important thing, how can we ethically use those AI, no matter for your academic work or your daily life, you can't just rely on those things. You need to have your own critical thinking abilities to do whatever, right? Because we have scary stories about people overly rely on those technologies. So that causes too many either mental health issue or some other scary issues to those people. So just be very critical of things we are accepting or we are using every day. So I think both very exciting and challenging time, because with still at this early stage of using generative AI, so we don't know. So like in 2 years, in 5 years, 10 years, we don't know how the technology will become and also how the whole world will become actually. So I think it's just a continue doing the best of what we can do. For me personally, so doing the research and just to support students and support teachers.
I like that you hit on people with sometimes mental illness that there can be a very scary side of if they are leaning on AI or if the use of AI does come into the equation. But then again, it's like if there is more research into it and if also there's more regulation coming from that research, then it can give more resource to people who are struggling with mental illness, because a lot of the times that is, a cry out for help, and that's something that can help with. So
yeah, so that's why there are lots of conversation around critical thinking. So I think that applies to across areas, right? So you need to have this critical thinking ability, or you need to have those expertise to be able to say if the information is accurate, valid, reliable. You can't just accept everything from the tool. The information generated by those tools looks accurate. So looks accurate, but it doesn't mean it is accurate. Sometimes when I was using ChatGPT and I was like, oh, this is a very interesting topic. Oh, I haven't thought about this. But is that real? Is that valid? I don't know. And then so I need to go probably go to other resources to figure out to the research paper. Probably that's what I should do from the beginning. But sometimes you just want to have some ideas, right? You just go to ChatGPT or other generative AI. So I think we have a long way to go to probably figure out more resources, more support for people to effectively use those tools. I think that's another part we are trying to do in our research, creating this system to make sure first the information generated by the system is accurate. And also, we know we still have this challenge. It can't be 100% accurate. So in that case, what can we do? So that's from the human side. How can we support humans, educators, students to know or in identifying those potential issues from their expertise or professional judgment or using their expert knowledge and skills.